Where there is love, the bruised can find a refuge, to be held close until their tears are gone. Where there is love, the weary can revive their hope until they're strong, until they're strong. Where there is love, the shadows all are friendly, and evil finds no place to hide a fear. Where there is love, the warmth of caring melts away despair. It disappears, it disappears. Where there is love, where there is love, hope soars like an eagle. Where there is love, faces shine with the richness of gold. I found the truth that my heart is so sure of. Life surrenders its best where there is love, where there is love. Where there is love, God's will is being honored. For those who love, He calls His very own. Where there is love, the world can see the purpose of His heart, and He is known. He is known. Where there is love, hope soars like an eagle. Where there is love, faces shine with the richness of gold. I found the truth that my heart is so sure of. Life surrenders its best where there is love. Where there is love, hope soars like an eagle. Where there is love, faces shine with the richness of gold. I've found the truth that my heart is so sure of. Life surrenders its best where there is love. Life surrenders its best where there is love. Where there is
I didn't ask for a second chance, but here you are, like circumstance. A touch that heals without a sound, lifting what was broken from the ground. It's a gentle revival, not a flame. No shouting skies, no thunder came. Just quiet grace, a steady rise, like love reborn behind my eyes. like a whispered tune, a melody beneath the moon. No preacher loud, no roaring crowd, just me and you and truth aloud. It's a gentle revival, not a flame, no shouting skies, no thunder came, just quiet grace, a steady rise, like love reborn behind my eyes. Call it love or call it fate, you meet me in this sacred space. No need to label what you do. Your mercy comes and pulls me through. Gentle revival that feels like you.
Open in morning of heaven, sunbeam to earth, made the world anew.
A shift within my spirit, a clear and open view. The fog of doubt had lifted, the truth I finally knew. I am light, I am light, a radiant burning flame. My soul's a boundless ocean, whispers my sacred name. No longer bound by shadows, I rise above the pain. I am light, forever free, unchained. The whispers in the starlight, the secrets in the breeze, they all speak a language my awakened heart peace. Connected to the rhythm, the dance of all the seas, a symphony of wonder carried on the gentle ease. I am light, a radiant burning flame. My soul's a boundless ocean, whispers my sacred name. No longer bound by shadows, I rise above the pain. I am light, forever free, unchained. The whispers in the starlight, the secrets in the breeze, they all speak a language my awakened heart peace. Connected to the rhythm, the dance of all the seas, a symphony of wonder carried on a gentle ease. I am light, a radiant burning flame. My soul's a boundless ocean, resides within, a force I can't deny. It guides me on my journey beneath the endless sky. With love as my compass and purpose as my guide, I walk the path of light with nothing left to hide. I am light, I am light, I am light. A ray burning flame, my soul's a boundless ocean, whispers my sacred name. No longer bound by shadows, I rise above the pain. I am light, forever free, unchained. I am light, forevermore I'll shine, a beacon in the darkness, the love that's truly mine.
Curacao, are you ready to awaken your spirit? Ready to embrace growth, healing, and connection like never before? We've heard you, and we've listened to our hearts. To make Corsaw Espierta truly accessible to everyone, we're thrilled to announce a phenomenal change. This year, the main event of Corsaw Espierta are now free to enter. Yes, you heard it well. It's free. Join us for 2 transformative evenings of wisdom, inspiration, and powerful connection. Friday, September 26th and Saturday, 27th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Prepare for an unforgettable experience designed to uplift your soul and empower your journey. And the celebration continues. Don't miss our incredible live concert on Sunday, September 28th at the beautiful Brackput Maymay Amphitheater. From 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., this is your chance to immerse yourself in an evening of inspiring music and positive vibrations under the stars. Tickets for the Sunday concert are just $35 and are available now. Secure your spot for the concert and learn more about all the amazing experiences awaiting you at Corsaw Espierta by visiting our website, corsawespierta.com, or grab your tickets directly on Eventbrite. Corsaw Espierta, free access, open hearts, and a powerful journey for all. We can't wait to see you there.
Good morning, wonderful people. Welcome to your favorite Monday morning program, the Great Awakening Podcast, with your host, Coach Glenn, here to serve you like you used to. I'm very excited about this program this morning because today is the beginning of the Near Death Experience Month, Near Death Experience Stories month, where we're going to hear different stories from those who has gone and came back to taught us of who we truly are. So I want you to prepare yourself because this is going to be awesome. And if you know other people that used to normally are watching this program, just this is your time to contact them, let them know that this program is going to be a very special one. The person that I am about to have this conversation with is a very special person for me personally. Okay, so I am excited. I want to remind everybody also about the upcoming event this month on the 26th, 27th, and the 28th of this month, the Corsoa Spierta event. So if you didn't get your tickets yet, remember it is free. The only thing that we ask, if you can, give a donation, but it's free. We went from the $200 entry fee to a free entrance. So um, get your ticket fast, okay? You can collect two tickets at a time, two tickets. So get yours because here in Curacao we used to let things for the last moment, and then we're gonna cry. Un saludos pa mia na Curacao. Ita na Holanda com o aqui programa aqui. So today this is the English version program because our guest is speaking English. She's from Jamaica, I think. She's residing in England. She's gonna let us know about that. So, sin di me se guarda más, I'm going to invite my guest to enter the studio. Hello, my beautiful sister, Nikisha.
Hi, how are you? How you doing,
I'm
Coach Glenn?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing
One moment.
great.
Let me get this off the way. So there we are.
hmm
Good morning. This good morning or good afternoon for you
It's
too?
good morning. I'm in New York. I'm not in
Ah,
England.
okay, you're in New York.
It is
So
good morning.
you were born in Jamaica.
Born in Jamaica. Went to
Okay.
school in Jamaica up to high school. Then I
Okay.
went to college in England. Went back to Jamaica after that, and now I'm living in New York.
You're living in New York. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I didn't do my homework. So
It's okay.
okay. So this morning we're going to have a conversation. Okay.
Right.
I don't want to call this an interview. It's a conversation because two weeks ago
hmm
I came across an interview with you, and I find it so fascinating that I decided to get in contact with you. And one of the thing that impressed me a lot is how fast you have reacted.
Hmm.
Um, um, and the way and on that week I have booked an session with you, which was for me beautiful. We're going to talk about that later,
okay.
so that my community can make use of your work because it's beautiful. So, but I was amazed with your story because it was very recent because it was in 2021.
Mhm.
But I want my people to know who was Nikisha Burrell
Right.
before before all that craziness
All
has
that
happened with
craziness.
you.
It is
Take your
actually
time.
crazy. Well, you know what? I was just a regular Caribbean child. I was born in Jamaica and I'm Jamaican, so I'm just a regular Jamaican kid, grown up in very strict Christian faith, and I
Yeah.
held on to that for, basically until that moment. I'm always the one though, as a kid, who got in trouble a lot with my
Okay.
parents because
Okay.
I'm the last of four. That's the first, and my mom, very devoted Christian. So is my dad, but my dad was traveling mostly when I was younger. But I'm always the one asking these questions. Why are there so many gods? Because I remember going to Sunday school, and I have this bestie of mine that we used to go to church. Greg
Mm-hmm.
and myself used to go to church. We're supposed to go to Sunday school. However, we also had friends who were Rastafarians. My best friend at the time was going to a Seventh day Adventist church. She's going to church on a Saturday. I'm going on a
Okay.
Sunday. And then I was exposed as I got a little bit older, 9, 10, 11, to other people who were Muslim. And I remember I was told then, and it is a faith, I'm not knocking it, but I know I was told then that they weren't going to go to heaven. But I was. So the thing always was try to convert them, to get them to come to, this denomination.
Yep.
And I was always livid and also worried, especially for my best friend. Like, so she's not going to go to heaven. Why are there so many gods? And why is it that they don't have love? Because that's all I feel from them. And when I would sit with, let's say, our friends, like the Rastafarians in our community and stuff like that, all I got from them was love. And they were talking about unity. And I got in a bit of trouble growing up, right? So I think that started my curiosity. I wanted to know about every Christian, every not Christian faith, but every religion you can think of. And it divulged me not just to religion, to culture, to everything. And I just couldn't understand it. But
Yeah.
anyway, I was told to shut up a lot. So I think eventually I started to just shut up and, go with it, and kind of allowed the universe to do what it did. So anyway, during the pandemic was that catalyst point for me, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because like the rug was dragged from under my feet, everyone, I think. But during that time I really had quiet time. I had silence. I had nothing but myself to face.
Yeah.
And I really started to do research during that time, and I was now exposed to a plethora of people because I started to give online services during COVID. And I was exposed to other religions again, what kind of awakened this thing in me again. And I remember I started to meditate somewhere along the way during
Mm-hmm.
COVID 'cause there's nothing else to do and it was going outside of my mind. And I started to feel the essences. Now I know it's energy. I started to have this feeling, this knowing this, but it was scaring the bejeebies out of me. Like, what's going on? Why? Because in our faith, anything that you don't believe or you've never experienced, fear creeps in. The first thing that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Because you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's a devil. That must be a ghost, something. But anyway, I digressed, and that process continued for a whole year in Jamaica, and I kept have started to have dreams. And I remember one of the dreams were very profound, and it says New York is calling. I just booked a ticket and I was out of there. So coming
Oh.
to New York, I think it was, I don't know, it was an act of faith, not knowing what the plan was. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So
Yeah.
that was a big move, just making that move, and everyone in my family thought she's absolutely gone mad. She's crazy, but let's see how far she's gonna take this. So that kind of happened in that way, with me just trusting God, trusting spirit, trusting faith, you know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
knowing that there's something more guiding me, just trust it and go. And when I came to New York, maybe about a month into this, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have a plan and I was frustrated because everyone's going to work. I'm here, I'm on vacation, but what's my plan? And I remember that morning I really got livid and I got angry at God and I started to cuss like, I don't know why you sent me here. What's the plan? And I was crying inside, and I just had this knowing, go take a walk. I don't think I've said this really publicly, but I'm being guided there, so go with me.
Okay.
All right, so I decided I'm going to take a walk, a couple blocks down. So I came
Mm-hmm.
out the came out the house and I was walking down, and maybe about 2 blocks down there were three birds. Three birds just perched on the sidewalk where I was walking, but I was so mad and I was living. I was cussing God, say, I can't do this anymore. I need to know where I go from here. The business is closed down. Tourism sector is absolutely bollocks.
That
What do
was in
I do next?
2020, no?
This was 2020. This was before
Okay.
the NDE. But this is
Okay.
kind of what catalyzed me to, I think, get to there. So when this happened, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So walking down the streets, there were three birds perched, and
Mhm.
I was upset with myself and I was cussing, like, you know what, you better get out of my way because I'm not shifting over. And in that moment, the light went on stop. And when it went on stop, it just felt as if the world paused for a moment. The three birds didn't move. And within that moment, I just had this, it felt as if something breathed me in a sense. I just felt like an extra breath came. And
Yeah.
within that moment, there was music playing in a car. But because the three birds were there, I picked up on Bob Marley's song, Three Little Birds by My Doorstep. I'll never
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
this. And it's like everything paused and the song continued. And when it got to "This is my message to you," you know that part of the song?
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Synchronicity.
And when that happened, Coach Glenn, I was like, I was absolutely flushed. And I started laughing out in streets like, what? Okay, I surrender. Whatever you want me to do, I'm doing. Because I realized then, oh my gosh, there really is more than just my
Yeah.
flesh and my bones and my connection to God. So that happened. And I went back, I turned around, I went straight back. And when I went back, this is where the synchronicity started to happen to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Within an hour, I got a phone call from somebody that I used to do stuff for online in Jamaica. And he called me and said, you know what? Would you consider to come to New York? I want to open a branch, whatever branch of his company in New York. And I was like, I'm in
Wow.
New York. And it just catalyzed from then. And then it didn't just happen like that. I have a family member who just out of the blue just came up. I had two offers in one day
Mhm. Yeah.
and say, you know what, I know this lady, she really needs somebody to do XYZ. I want you to meet her. She wants to get somebody to come here to work for her. I was like, oh, blimey. So from this, it started to unfold and open doors that I realized, oh my gosh, if you simply just trust, there's more. So catalyzing and moving forward to 2021, this is just a few months after. I am
Okay.
in New York. I'm not thinking about spirituality, but that happened and it's still on my mind. So it's a morning and everybody left the apartment. I was there alone. And I went to take a shower. And it's just like it happened this morning. And when I was there, I felt this tickle in my throat, just a regular tickle.
Okay.
And when it happened, I went to clear my throat. And when I did, there was no breath. I mean, my breath cut off by just trying to clear my throat. Most
Mm.
ridiculous way to have an NDE. And when that happened to me, I remember I started to panic. Daylights out of here. And I remember holding on to the shower curtain and I remember ripping it down. And I'm just struggling to myself. Oh my gosh, why am I not getting breath? In that very moment, there's another synchronicity. I had this memory of when I was leaving Jamaica before, my partner who's asthmatic, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the pharmacy, got this brand new asthma pump, and he said to me, "Want me to take it to New York?" I was like, "No, I'm not taking it to New
He
York. I'm not."
bought it. He bought it
He
for you
he bought it for me. His name is on the
specifically.
prescription, and I was
Wow.
livid back then. But in this moment when I'm not catching breath, I had this memory of something that I didn't think about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to struggle to get to my bag. I got outside, still gasping for breath. Put my hand in the bag. It's the first thing I feel. And when I held it in my right hand, I remember this. I said to myself, "But I don't know how to use it." Now, in the next breath, I'm trying to catch it. Here's the other thought that came to me, which is another synchronicity. I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to simply die in this moment. My phone rings. Here's what I
Mm-hmm.
remember. When my phone rang, when I just came to New York then, it's my first iPhone. I've never had an iPhone before. And when I was in the store, this was just the weirdest thing. The guy was seriously, he insisted that I put the face recognition on.
Yeah.
Back then I did not trust AI, did not want it, but he convinced me to go in.
Wow.
Remember, I'm gasping for breath
You're
here.
gasping.
And
Yeah.
and the two things are livid on my mind. So I remember I took the phone up with my left hand, but I know I didn't press it because I didn't have the strength. It fell from my hand. However, when it fell on the floor, I could hear my partner in Jamaica calling me, and he's talking on the phone. So it picked up my face. not
Yeah.
me pressing it. So it's on the floor, I can hear him. And to fast forward now to those two
Wow.
synchronicities, I asked him afterwards, I said, "Why did you insist for me to get the pump?" He said he didn't know. He just got a dream and he just said there was winter in New York. And he said, "You know what? I think you should have the pump because he had a very bad cold." That was one. And the second one is he said he was in Jamaica and had this urgency call Nick. So he called me right in the minute when that was happening. These were the two synchronicities that happened then.
Yes, yes, yes.
But within that moment, Coach Glenn, I don't care about any of that. I'm gasping for breath.
Hmm.
Anyway, the last thought I remember I had to myself, because he's on the floor, the phone's on the floor, not him, screaming, "Nick, what's happening? Puff and swallow." And I can't use this pump. And I remember I was upset with myself. Damn it. I am going to die. And my brother in law, my sister's going to find me naked on the floor. And that was the last thought I had. And I don't know at what point I left the physicality. Coach, I just know that I was all of a sudden in this white, not space, in this white, I don't know, it's just this whiteness. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to find that white here, but it's just this whiteness. And the first thing that I perceived was my grandmother, my mother's mother, who died
Hmm.
when I was so much younger. And I
Okay.
have this silhouette figure of her in front of me. Now, me saying this is absolutely livid because in the religious faith, most of them, living has nothing to do with the dead. But
Yeah.
she's the one who appeared for me in my
Yeah.
NPE. And when I perceived her, I remember I had this thought. There was no speaking of words.
Hmm.
I would think something and then I just knew it or I was brought there. Yeah. So I had this thought, where am I? And as soon as I thought that, all of a sudden there was just this beautiful light orbs just lighting up around me.
Yeah.
And then I knew these were angels. But you know what was amazing about it?
Tell me.
I could identify every one of these light orbs, the name of these angels, which
Wow.
me as a physical being have no clue. I only knew maybe Michael, Raphael. I am Azriel, Uriel, I'm going forward. And when I came back, I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't know there were so many angels. But they kept just populating in a sense.
Hmm.
And this room was just, it was just a white nest, not even a room. It just felt as if it kept creating itself.
Hmm.
And the moment I started to do that, it just felt as if, oh my gosh, I'm getting now what I call downloads. Because I started to have these memories as if, oh my gosh, I'm home. And it just felt like everyone was saying, oh my gosh, well done, you're home. And I just felt this, I felt this profound love that I never thought existed.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was just, I knew I was energy again because there was no form for me. But I just felt so welcome. And it was like, there was no fear, there was no nothing, there was no thought of anything. I was just back to this, I was just back to this insurmountable love. It was just something that I couldn't define. But while I
Wow.
was there, I remember my grandmother is still the main focus of me because she's the one I'm familiar with.
Hmm.
And I remember over to the left side, I glanced over to the left side. And when I glanced there, it was amazing to me because I could now see the silhouette form of angels the way I would perceive them with wings and all.
Yeah.
And where they were like emitting rainbow of colors through these beings. And as soon as I thought, what was that? I knew that those were humans, we, who passed on and came to the light. And
Yeah.
I had a thought, what do you mean came to the light? And all of a sudden I understood, wow, there are also people who change forms, meaning the death process, and
Yeah.
they're either fearful or they did things in the life experience that they feel, oh my gosh, I'm not worthy to see God. Because the
Yeah.
minute you
Yeah.
change forms, there is this light, there is this thing that you know that's pure love that you go to. And I had all this knowing then. However, they feel they don't deserve to see God or they're not worthy, or some of them also don't realize that they're dead. And I had this knowing that, wow, that's spiritual rehab for those who came to the light, but they're just things that now
That
they're identifying. Oh my gosh,
they're confused. Yeah.
some of them are confused, but some of them also see when you go back to when you change from the death process to spirit, when you get to your spirit self, you no longer have the limitations of the body. You immediately know every choice that you made. You
Hmm.
get to see an imprint of everything that you caused to happen, every
Yeah.
way you reacted, every time you could have smiled. You see, it sounds so silly, and you didn't smile. And as a spirit, it affects you because you say to yourself, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the concept of spiritual rehab in a sense. And I was very interested, but then my focus changed to this beautiful archway right in front of me. Gosh, and it's as if it was calling me, Coach Glenn. Beyond there was this huge crystal city, and I wanted to go there so bad. And beyond it was waterfalls, and I love waterfalls. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And as I was to think about it, what's there? My grandmother was just in life form in front of me. Now I know she was stopping me from going there. Now I know that if I'd gone there, I wouldn't have come back, but
Come
I just
back.
so
Yeah.
wanted to do it. So when she appeared, all of a sudden, now this angel silhouette appeared to my right. And I identified Archangel Raphael. I was like, oh my gosh. And it felt as if, I don't know, it's like I know this being, this essence. And as soon as I had that thought, I could see flashes when I was in childhood, this time when I fell and hit my head, that time when I'm remembering, and then it's like Raphael showing me, yeah, that was me there. That was me there. That time when you
Wow.
cried, I remember he had showed me this flash of this time I had my heart broken. I was cried for 3 days. And the weirdest things happened around me for that 3 days. And Raphael was showing me that was me trying to
Wow.
get you out of this state. And he was showing me because you gave up on your truth and your power then, not understanding that that was the best thing for you. You
Yeah.
missed these things. And he was showing me the things that I missed the 3 days. The time when the butterfly came, the time when I was walking in the park and the child smiled. It was the most, I don't know, it's things that us as human would not take notice of.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
angels were showing me the most important things in life that I missed because I decided to simply give up and shrink my life. But while he was there was this room that opened up to the right. And as soon as I was to think, what's that? I just had this note, oh my gosh. When I perceived what was in that room, it's like I was in this big beehive. There's huge honey pods
Yeah.
and they were golden and pulsing, and it was you can't count them. They were infinite. And as soon as I was to think, what's that? I just knew, oh my gosh, that's the memory, the life, it's like the login, the writings of every person's choice, every person's lifetime, everything you've ever done. And it
Wow.
was amazing to me, like, oh my gosh. And then I had this thought, oh my gosh, now you want to remember everything that you did. And he had me know, okay, you're going to focus on three things, which now I know is a life review. Then I had no clue what it was named.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So one of the pods came out, this beautiful golden pod, and it was just, I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, the best way for me to say it's kind of holographic. It's like hologram, but not an hologram. It's just way cool. But anyway, when it came out, I remember I wasn't watching the scene. It was if I was brought back there,
Mm-hmm.
but I was witnessing myself in this thing. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, I was 5 years old and I had a red dress on. And my sister at the time was getting me, getting me ready. And in her mind, she had this thought, I will protect you forever. Here's a caveat for this. I wasn't feeling how I felt. I
Yeah.
was feeling her feelings, which for me was like 100 times more than feeling how you would feel in a situation. So
Mm-hmm.
I had this thought to myself, why are you making that, why are you saying that to yourself? And immediately when I had that thought, I was brought back to her childhood with
Yeah.
an experience that she had as a child. And
Mm-hmm.
they brought me back to the very night that she said a prayer to God. God, if you just give me a sister, I will protect her forever. And then they allowed me to feel the love that she had for me. Because here's the thing, I'm the
Mm.
youngest, my sister is the oldest. So there's years, quite a bit of years between us,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
also always the one saying, oh my gosh, why couldn't I get a sister that's closer in age to me, who'd play with me and stuff? Because she's always like the mother, like she's
Yeah.
strict with me. I want you to do this, do that. And I'm always like, why can't you just chill out?
Yeah.
Allow
She
me to
was
have.
overprotecting you.
Yes, she was the overprotective sister. But as the youngest one, I wanted to, still have fun, still experience. She had, no, I've been through that. I'm telling you. And I was like, I never understood until that very minute moment.
Yes.
And that changed my life forever because I understood, oh my
Beautiful.
gosh, I felt this unconditional love. And the moment I was to focus on it, that went. And another memory came up, and I was looking at myself in high school in
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, Ferncourt High School, and there was this guy who fancied me. It was Valentine's Day. I'll never forget this. And he brought a rose to me. But when that came up, I know I had the thought to myself, I don't even remember this memory. I didn't remember that I did it either.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was profound to me because he attempted to give me the rose and I refused it. I blatantly refused it. I'm in seventh grade. I'm dumb as a button then, I think, and I was embarrassed too. But you know what, Coach Glenn? I felt how he felt.
Yeah.
It broke me to bits because I didn't realize that your reaction to things in this life as a physical person is very
Mm-hmm.
profound and very important. We should think about how you react to people and how you choose whether you're going to be kind to them or not.
Yeah.
And I felt how livid and how heartbroken he was. And as soon as I started I'm soaking it up and I couldn't believe and I didn't know how to deal with it. And all of a sudden, this beautiful light orb just came out of nowhere. And when it did, I had this knowing, oh my gosh, that's his soul. And I don't know, I just felt this peace as if, oh my gosh, I got to ask for forgiveness or something. Something happened
Mm-hmm.
because I could feel the weight lifted from me from that guilt that
Yeah.
I felt for how I made him feel. And before I forget to say this, after my NDE, I was livid. I was still wanting to find him, but when I sought out, they told me he had changed forms. He had died years before. So
Mm.
when I think back about it, I'm so grateful because the angels gave me a chance to really, really
Right
say I'm
there.
sorry, right there.
Yeah.
So that for me was profound. And the last scene they allowed me to see, I came out of that, and then I was in another one, and I was in Ocherias at the time, and I was at a supermarket. I'll never forget. Progressive just opened, and there was this older lady in front of me. There was a line behind me, and I was standing right behind her. And it seemed as if she wasn't able to pay for all her bill because you could see
Yeah.
her taking up stuff like she's choosing what can I do without. Oh, but I'm gonna need this. You know what I mean? And people behind me were getting frustrated. And I just had this thought, this is another silly thing that anybody can do. And
Mm-hmm.
I bent over to the teller and I said, I'll pay her bill. And the teller, I think, told her, and she turned around to me. Now, I don't want her to focus much on me. I just want her to get her groceries because at the same
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
I don't want to feel embarrassed. I don't want her to feel embarrassed. But Coach Glenn, she held me. I had my hand like this, and she held me like this. She said, "Thank you." And what the angels allowed me to feel was what she gave me that day, and I didn't know that a kind act energetically gives so much to you. It's an exchange you give to somebody, but you
Yeah.
also receive something that's even more that you never understand. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember she would say, thank you. And I was like, God works in mysterious ways. And the moment they allowed me to have that memory, what the angels did, they took me to the night before where this old lady was sitting in her room and she was praying to God. I don't know how I'm going to feed my kids, but I know you will make a way. And I
Yeah.
think they did that. And it's as if they allowed me to see that that act of kindness solidified her faith in prayer. And
Yeah.
immediately, Coach Glenn, I heard this. And then I had this knowing, boots on the ground. And the angel said, because you are boots on the ground for God. And immediately I understood what our purpose is, such important it is. But
Very
not
important.
just that, they showed me where there are three kids who live next door to her who got fed from the groceries she took home. And she told this story to her daughter and her son. And they showed me years after how much now, because of that story that was so profound to them and the faith of a mother in prayer, her
Yeah.
daughter has now started to do the same thing, paying it forward back to people. And woof, I'm outside of that.
Wow.
But by the time I get out of that, Coach Glenn, I don't know. I'm thinking to myself, I am the one judging myself. I'm looking at different flashes of my life and I'm seeing what I miss. I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't you just say hello? Why didn't you smile back? I was judging
Mm-hmm.
my choices. And around me, all these angels, there was no judgment to me.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different from what I was taught. I was the one who now identified, oh my gosh, I chose to withhold love from myself, from
Mm-hmm.
these experiences that I had every time I looked in the mirror and they would show me. But when the angels showed me things, it wasn't like looking at it. They allowed me to feel energetically. Every time you say something to yourself and you put
Mm-hmm.
yourself down energetically, what it does, not just to your physical outward self, what it does also to the cells in your body. It
Yeah.
slowly starts to wither away, and you are the one who's feeding this energy to yourself. But while I was there, it was as if I'm just getting this knowingness is what I call it, because they're showing me the trajectory of the earth, of what we're doing, and it all
Mm.
came down to our choices. So yes, I'm seeing catastrophes. Many people who call me now because they want to know, oh, what was the prediction here and there? Many of them already come to pass, but that's not the focus the angels wanted me to have. They
Mm-hmm.
wanted me to witness them and document them, but they also showed me the probabilities. Yes,
Yeah.
about these wars that we expect to have. And I'm seeing flashes of, okay, this is what will happen if we still choose to be separated in a sense, not
Yes.
understanding that we are all part of one universal cell on this earth body, not understanding that we all have a part to play instead of pointing fingers and blaming and judging other people for their own choices. And it's just a trajectory showing if you choose to simply start to be kind, beginning with yourself, this is the trajectory of the earth. And then when you see the trajectory, it's so peaceful, filled with so much love. There's no longer a separation of rooms when it comes to religion, spirituality. Everyone just understands we all are one and one are all. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
And for
Yes.
me, looking at the probabilities, you see the absolute chaos, but they also show you why the chaos is there. It's because within your heart, you are blaming and you are judging, and you don't
Yeah.
understand that you also have a pivotal part to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very profound for me because all the downloads I received then, I'm seeing these things and they're also showing you it's not about all the commandments and all the rules. It's just one simple thing. It goes down to one thing. It goes down to love, really. So if
Yeah.
I love my neighbor as I love me, why is it that I judge them? Even deep in my heart.
Yeah.
And it sounds silly, but there they allow you to feel energetically how powerful that is and how it affects your household and how it affects your children and how they also outwardly show love to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, while I'm there, I'm getting all these information and I don't know what time passed because there's no aspect of time there. And I started to focus again on this beautiful archway and I wanted to go there. And as soon as I was to think about it, there's my grandmother again.
Your grandma.
And she said, it's time to go. And as soon as I was to say, go where? I am out of there. And I knew if I got to stay, I would have argued with her because I didn't want to come back. But now I'm in this dark space. It's not a room. It doesn't feel scary. Where I was felt as if creation starts there, in
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
sense. So I
Yeah.
can feel as if anything that I'm thinking about, it's populating in the minute. And as soon as I was to think, where am I? It almost looked as if somebody pricked the darkest dark you can think of with a pin or a needle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was a small light. And from that small light, I started to feel this my body. I felt this breath, and I keep doing this now because when I started to slowly feel my body, I was very disappointed.
I can imagine.
I was very disappointed, and
After all that bliss that you were experiencing.
Coach Glenn, you have no idea. And I started to feel my body more in my fingers, but I remembered when I took one of these breaths, I got the knowing, oh my gosh, it's not just air. This is the breath of consciousness. You're
Yeah.
always connected to Creator. You're never separate from Creator. You don't have to wash yourself white as snow to be worthy, to pray,
Mm-hmm.
to wish, to be kind. And I'm coming back to my body with all these things with me. And then I can feel my body again. On the phone on the floor, I'm hearing my hubby on the other side in an absolute panic. And I don't want to hear him because I'm like, oh my gosh, if I move, I'm going to lose this feeling. So I don't want to move, Coach Glenn.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
there on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
floor and I don't want to move. And he's there living on the phone. So I don't touch the phone. I remember I felt the asthma pump in my right hand still.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
I let that go and I turned to the side, not getting up. And I said, I'm here, but I'm okay. And he's still there wanting me to take the phone up, but I don't want to move too much because this profound feeling of love was still,
Yeah.
my
For
gosh.
what I know, it will stay with you for a while.
Yes, it did. But then
Yeah.
I was the first thing that came in this physical body was fear. I was so afraid, and I didn't feel that there. But I
Yeah.
was so afraid at first. And then I had this thought. I think my mind caught up to it. Like, what did daylights just happen? And
Yeah.
then this thought came to me. Oh my gosh, did I just imagine that? Was that real, or am I losing my mind? And the minute I had that thought, Coach Glenn, it's like I felt this as if this energy just flowed from my crown straight
Uh-huh.
through my spine. And I remembered everything like, oh my gosh, I just saw my grandmother. I just spoke to angels, and I know exactly what we
Wow.
need to do to have world peace. It was like this profound thing. And immediately I'm livid. I'm like, who am I going to tell? Who's going to
Hmm.
believe this? And my brother in law is coming through the door because my hubby called him to come get me. So I have him on the phone. And my brother in law said, oh, we need to go to the hospital. I was like, no, I'm really
I'm
okay. No, no, no,
fine.
no, no, no. I, I don't need to go anywhere. Yes. And I'm saying to you, you don't understand. I just saw my grandmother. Why did I say that? That they panicked. You couldn't have seen a grandmother. You took too much of the pump. I was like, I
Now,
did not.
now they're gonna think that you're really sick. I mean, you have to go to the hospital now.
And they did. And when I went to the hospital, because I was still high on this experience I just had, on my way to the
Mhm.
hospital, I never felt the wind the way I felt it. I was still in that space, that heaven space. And when I
Yeah.
went to the hospital, I'm telling the nurse the same thing. And she's like, yeah, you took too much of this asthma pump. You should
Yeah.
never do this pump again. And rightfully, she's doing what she's trained to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. For
they did.
sure.
After all that time at Kings County, she finally said, you know what? You had a very bad anxiety attack. Don't take the asthma pump anymore. And they're giving me
Hmm.
medicine, those type of medicine
Yeah. Yeah.
make you comatose. And I was like, yeah, I really don't need it. And following days after this and weeks after this, Coach Glenn, I was now feeling. So I'm still talking about my experiences. I'm talking
Hmm.
to my parents in Jamaica. And every time I would talk to them, say, yeah, but mom, I really did speak to your mom. And she would say, yeah, it's okay. You still get over this thing. And I could feel the fear into her. So they were getting really upset with me because I am
Yeah.
now feeling that what they're saying to me is not true. And when they talk, I was like, yeah, but that's not how you feel. You just had a conversation. You want to check me into a psychiatric ward, don't you? And
Hmm.
they don't understand where I'm getting this information from. And my
Yeah.
family, remember, I'm Jamaican, them that they don't play about this thing. They're thinking it must be the devil, it must be this. And
Especially because they are Christians.
are you kidding me? And the dead is not supposed to have anything to do with the living. But remember, I was also brought up on this knowingness, this belief. But when you experience it for yourself beyond a
Yeah.
reasonable doubt,
Yeah.
it graduates you from believing in these
Hmm.
things to knowing the moreness. It's not taking anything away from religion or
Yeah.
spirituality or
Yeah. Yeah.
anything.
I
It's
like the way you
graduating
put that.
yourself. Yeah, but it's true because
Yeah.
I've now graduated to simply know, wow, yes, there is a God, there's creator, but there's no confinement. I
Hmm.
remember this is the path that the angels took me to have my own mom understand what I was going through before everyone actually decided to tie me up, put me somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
because there had to be a way to explain to my Jamaican family. And that's
Hmm.
why I really appreciate the help from the angels who gave me this beautiful analogy of the mansion with many rooms that helped me to finally break it down to my mom,
Yeah.
especially because it was very important for me before I go public with anything. I wanted to make sure my parents were comfortable and understood
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
didn't want her to be livid or fearful within it. That's the thing that I didn't want. I don't care about judgment or anything. I
Yeah.
didn't want her to hold on to fear because within
You know
faith,
what fear
you
can
think so.
do.
Oh, are you kidding me?
You know.
Fear
Now you
is the
know.
opposite of where the light is. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the light. If you are feeling fearful within yourself within this moment, there's something that is embedded there that you believe, witness, probably, or experience yourself, but it's simply telling you not to be more of yourself. And it
Hmm. Hmm.
limits you. And I saw where I limited myself for years until this experience when I'm like, I'm not even fearful of death. And then I want to tell everyone in my family, don't be fearful of death. And they say, shut up. How
Yeah,
you mean
yeah.
not to be fearful of death? But I'm trying to allow them also because I experienced a spiritual rehab and
Mm-hmm.
I know how important it is with your choices and how you react to things. Your life will be so much easier if when you do change forms and you go back to the angels call it infinite life. They don't call it a death process.
Yeah,
When you are looking back on the life you live, you should want to have less things to be regretful about, shouldn't you?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
why not make the choice now to simply
Exactly.
not go through these things and try to confine yourself? Because you see, the house with many rooms that the angels gave me, I love it because I also experienced something from that analogy that I never understood. And the angel said, every person who has a perspective of what God represents to them creates for themselves a room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when you create this room, the walls that goes up while you create this room to say, "Oh, I own God. This is my God, and
Mm-hmm.
God is doing only for me and not for you. And if you don't come into this one room, you're not
Yes.
right to be in the hands of the Father or to
And that's
Creator."
and that's arrogance.
It's yeah. And then when I just came back, I was very judgmental of the church and of all these religions, but they grounded me quickly because they said, "No, you're not. You're not supposed to judge anybody because if you start
Yeah,
to judge and start to point fingers, what you're doing is creating for yourself another room. And what will you call it?"
yeah,
So I
yeah,
realized really quickly, oh, so I had so much love and compassion, and I still do, for everyone who believes what they believe. So the closest thing I can talk to anyone about now is not, I don't want anybody to leave your religion or your faith or anything because I needed Christianity.
yeah,
I
yeah.
needed it in the time that it happened in my life because I needed to know that there's more than me. I needed to know
Yes,
that there's a profoundness to this life that I'm living. But I simply graduated from believing in the constructs that confines you and limits you to
hmm,
unconditional love within these realms. Do you
yeah.
understand?
I
And
understand.
and the whole point of where we stand now is breaking these walls down, and whether we want to or not, they're breaking down.
Yeah, yeah,
Whether
for
we
sure.
want to or not, we are within this timeline now where they have to go
They
because the
have to.
consciousness level is growing and things will happen within our world that we've never witnessed before with our physical eyes. And
Yes,
when it
yes,
happens, these structures need to fall and regrow where we can create them, where we understand we really are not alone. We
no,
really are simply more than flesh and bones. We really are
yes,
love within ourselves because we are now in a world where so many people, I'm not talking about a few, the great majority of this world is broken. And they're
mm-hmm.
broken because they've disassociated themselves from this consciousness that breeds them, and they
Yeah,
believe that they're not worthy for a prayer or for a good wish or for healing. And we can prove it through in COVID. They showed me during COVID. COVID was orchestrated by, yes, the darkness, but it was pre planned by the light in
yeah,
order for us. And I say that way because that's how the angel said it. Because
hmm,
every time what you call darkness, I don't give an identity to it because now I realize the construct is really in the mind.
yeah,
But what the darkness planned to bring you in fear, the light, God, consciousness, creator, whatever you want to call it, had pre-planned that moment for you
yes,
to be free of the distractions to understand, what am I really worth in this planet? What really makes sense to me, what gives me peace? That during COVID, in those periods, was for us to literally dig deep into our creative purpose.
yeah,
And instead,
yes,
we sat and we watched as they propagated the fear. And, that little map they showed in America with the red dot spreading every day, they never one day went on there and say, you know what, it's a probability that it will get less. Every day, it's a probability to become worse. And because everyone was feeding on that fear, it was
mm-hmm.
like there was this giant monster who fed on the fear of human beings, and more people died than they should have. But during
Yes,
that time, they showed me the
very good.
probability, Coach Glenn, if we had harnessed in long enough to understand, hey, I trust and I choose not to.
Mm-hmm.
We gave away our choice during that period when we had the biggest opportunity to choose. Because what was put up to us, oh gosh, you're going to lose your jobs, you're going to lose this, you're going to lose that. And people fed more into the fear.
Yeah,
Most people
yeah.
died from fear than the actual
Then
whatever
the
that was
actual what?
propagated.
Yes,
And I was
Yes.
amazed. I was amazed when I'm looking on the probability of how that could have gone. And because most people during COVID had the most successful time in their lives, those are the ones who harnessed in, who
Hmm.
grounded themselves, who were sitting in the same space that you were, but had a different perception of the world in a sense,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they simply weren't perceiving the chaos and the fear and the death as you were. They
Yeah.
saw that opportunity as, okay, now I'm not distracted, now I'm digging deep. And they came up with the most beautiful creative gifts this moment, this new product,
Hmm.
this new this, and they elevated from that. And
Yeah.
those are the stories we miss. We never hear about those stories about the ones who overcame. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
now the next phase of this world, or this lifespan that we are in, we called in the demolition teams. That's what the angels said, and I found it
Yeah.
pretty profound. I was like, what do you mean? They said, well, the political system, educational system, the financial system, industrial farming system, and they kept going on.
All of them are broken down
all
now.
all these beams that are not strong enough to sustain the consciousness of where you are supposed to evolve to, into
Yeah.
this world of understanding your truth and your power, you called us in, because within your heart, although you're not speaking it outwardly, you're saying to yourselves there must be more.
Yeah.
And because you've asked that question, now the beams are set and they will be
Mm.
demolished. And as it happens, the angel said, don't be fearful. Do not hold on to fear anymore. Allow these structures to fall. As the entertainment industry, these things happen because now we realize, wow, these things that we revered and we held identity over ourselves, giving away our own choice of
Hmm.
choosing what gives me peace and what gives me joy and happiness. As we see these structures fall and people are in the structures that will go down, don't sit and become and start to feed more fear into it. They say allow it to happen. Pause and
Yeah.
allow. They say a lot. Pause and allow, because it must happen in order for us to see when the rubble clears. Now you see everything that you missed. Oh my gosh, I really have a choice.
Hmm.
I really can make a choice for my child, how they learn. I
Yeah.
really can make a choice the things that I put in my body. These things that are now happening. Oh my gosh, it was always synthetic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many things happening that we have chosen because we want to, you know, close our eyes, like eyes wide shut. We're pretending to look, but we have our eyes closed because,
Yeah.
oh, it's not affected me. That's happening in another country. That's not happening to my race, so I don't need to say anything. Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
I'm a Christian, and those are whatever other religion. I don't care about them. And what they show is energetically, it causes the walls to go higher and it
Yes.
weakens our ability to love, unconscious love. Not love that says, I love you if you pray this way, or if you talk this way, or if you dress this way. Unconditionality of love that
Hmm.
allows you to perceive this consciousness that you have within you that actually is your GPS, that guides you to make the right decisions, to the right people, to do the things that sustains you.
Yes.
And it's a
Yes. Yes.
perspective I've never seen before, but now that I've witnessed it, seen it, experienced it for myself, I can't unsee it.
Beautiful. This is beautiful. This is your program, The Great Awakening, the season, the month of near death experience stories with our guest, Nikisha Burrell, with her amazing story. And what I find amazing is the information that you came with that. And that is very, very, very important. One
Mm,
of the stories that you have, one of the things that the angels told you in order to help your mom understand certain things is about the process of death. I want
mhm.
you to elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, it was when I was on the other side, my grandmother also showed me just a prep of my
Yeah.
mother's experience because of Christianity and faith. And it's not just her, but I think it's a mirror of many people.
Yeah.
Because of this fear that we have of death, many times when the death process comes, we tend not to go to the light freely and quickly. But
Hmm.
there's always a welcome in there. And the reason why, most of us, especially my Jamaican counterparts, if there's somebody that you don't talk to in the life process in your family, maybe a past love on a child or whatever, you really don't expect to see them going through your death process.
Yeah.
Most times, that's the one who's there to meet you.
To meet
So,
you.
exactly, because you don't. When they change forms, they are back to light.
Yeah.
They don't hold the grudges or anything that you still hold, and when you hold it, it makes you so heavy and so weak because energetically that's what it does. So my mother is a very stubborn woman. I love my mother, but she's stubborn, right? So
Yeah.
I had this fear within myself. Oh my gosh, I have to teach her or try to have her understand this
Yeah.
death process, just in case she sees anyone that she really wasn't so much within the physicality. She will not go to that light. I know she's that stubborn, and so are many
Yeah.
people. So I tried to coin my words the best way I could, the best way I could. And she would always say, "Yeah, I don't trust what you're saying," because she couldn't understand it, right?
Yeah.
So months gone by, I'm going through this experience. My mother never called me to say what I'm doing. I created this family group. And at the time when I did it, it was egoic because now I wanted them to know what I was seeing. But the
See.
angels kind of grounded me quickly to say it's not about ego. It's about witnessing, documenting, and showing them how prayer or meditation or just sending wish of healing to these spaces will help it. So I would post something on the group, maybe about, a volcano or hurricane or whatever is coming, and within a couple weeks or sometimes a couple months it would happen, and they wouldn't respond to the group. They would
Yeah.
call me one on one, say, "Have you watched the news?" I was like, "No." "That thing that you talk about, how did you know?" I was like, "I don't know how I know, but I just wanted you to know that it would have been worse, but you can see the energy that went out because it was propagated and people actually prayed." So I
And
remember
these
months.
these these are people that believe in prophecy.
Yes, but I don't know. I think maybe because it was coming from me, I'm the least
Yeah.
likely in my family for anyone
Yeah.
to expect to
Yeah.
come and tell them about God, angels, or anything. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think that's why too. And they really, Christians always say, there's a thin line between light and
Yeah.
darkness, and it's true. I was taught that also. But if it's
Hmm.
coming from love, pure love, and you understand and you feel it peacefully in your heart, you know it is. And if you're
Yeah.
not thinking about it, attracting it, or having an intention for darkness, there's no way it's going to affect you. I learned
Yeah.
that much now. So
Yeah.
anyway, months after, these predictions are coming true, and I don't care about the predictions because they don't understand. I had this weight on me because I
Hmm.
didn't want to keep getting these dreams anymore because I didn't know what to do with them. So one day I remember my mom called me and she said, in a Jamaican, she said, "Listen, may have four children, and I want to know if I die, all of them are going to God. And it seems as if may have one way I go to the devil." And I was like, oh
Hmm.
God. And I understood then. I was like, okay, this is my opportunity because she's asking me now. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to coin the words and I have to be careful, have to explain to her so she can understand. Immediately when she's on the phone, then you see, the angels have their own essences and personalities. It's not
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
one masculine or feminine, but Archangel Michael has this masculine type of energy.
Yeah.
And I've learned by now that when Archangel Michael is perceiving his essence to give a message, I feel it through my
Hmm.
crown down to my back.
Yeah.
So I said to my mom, I was like, I have I have an angel who wants to give a message, and she was like, she didn't understand what's happening. She said, "No, no, not. I want you to." I said, "Just give me a moment." And when I was there, I put the phone down, and Archangel Michael just took me to this space upon the clouds.
Hmm.
And I was looking at this little boy stretching, and I said to myself, if he steps out, he's going to fall. And the minute I had that thought, Archangel Michael says, "We don't understand why human beings," he always separates the words, human beings, "choose to look for God or a savior high and far when the
Hmm.
savior actually is waiting for them to perceive him where they are." And I had
Yes.
this thought to myself, what's he talking about? As soon as I could think that, he said, "Look." And when I looked, there was this huge, beautiful, big white mansion. And as soon as I was to think what it was, I was inside the door. And as far as I can look, Coach Glenn, there are just doors and doors and doors all the way down. It's like it never stops.
Yeah.
And I'm having the same experience now again with Archangel Michael as when I was on the other side. As soon as I was to think it, I was there. So I
Yeah.
thought to myself, what's in that room? And I was inside the
You
room, and
was there.
I was in the room. So it's the exact replica of my mom's church in Jamaica. And I was looking at it and I felt at peace because I remember there's this big organ in our church and the organ was playing. And Archangel Michael says, "Within this room, do you feel God?" Whew. Yeah, that energy is back again. And I said, "Yes." And it felt so good. And the moment I was to think that, I was outside of that room and in another one. And in this room, it was like a, I don't know, like an Indian culture. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
anyway, there were like incense and there was a lot of smoke and smell and like the candles lit. And I went into that room and said, "Within this room, do you feel God?" And I remember, yes, I felt God in that room. And I was outside the room and in another one. I went into another room and it was completely different. It was like more like dancing, really
Yeah.
old native type of stuff. "Do you feel God in this room?" And I said, "Yes." "Can you contain God in this room?" And without even thinking about it, I knew the answer was no. And I was outside that room. And I remember the other room that I went in, it was a dark room, Coach Glenn. It wasn't
Yeah.
familiar. There was one big table, one chair, and there was this girl in this room, and she was crying and she was slouched over like this.
Yeah.
And I had the thought immediately, well, this doesn't fit because I thought I was going to see religion, religion all over. And Archangel Michael says,
Do you feel God?
everyone who has a perspective of what God represents creates for themselves a room. And as soon as
Mm.
he said that, I understood this girl was crying. But when I perceived her again, I could see the light orbs around her. And I knew, oh my gosh, she is in absolute pain. But the angels are with her. And I could feel God in that room.
Yes.
And I said,
Yes.
yes, I feel God in this room. And I was outside the room and I went into another one. And it was the same thing. And as soon as I was to have this thought, okay, I'm kind of understanding now. I was outside the door. And outside the door, Archangel Michael says, "Can you contain God in that mansion?" And I was
Mm.
about to say yes because there are more doors there. And as soon as I was to answer, Coach Glenn, this beautiful space just started to populate. The trees, the mountains, everything just started to create around this mansion. And I'll never
Mm.
forget, I heard the birds. And I perceived, oh my gosh, but they're God too. They are of God. Every living thing is of God. And I said to myself, no, because I realized you can't contain God in that mansion.
Mm.
And as soon as I was to think again, I was taken a little bit further up, almost elevated from the earth.
Yeah.
And when I was to look out, Archangel Michael says, "Do you feel God out here?" And I said, "Yes." Then he said, "Look." And when I looked, there were like more mansions being populated. And I thought to myself, oh my God, are there that many religions? Because you know by now that every mansion has so many rooms with other religions. But remember, the angel said, everyone who has a perspective of what God, creator, universe represents to them, creates for themselves one of these rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
just started to populate. And I was like, no, because I realized you can't contain God there either. And he took me up further. And when
Wow.
I went further, I wasn't seeing these mansions anymore. I was seeing multiple Earths, multiple planets just duplicating.
Mm.
I was like, oh my gosh, we are way more than we ever think. And he
Yeah.
said, "Do you feel God up here?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Go and tell them God cannot be contained,
Mm-hmm.
owned, or identified to any one being. God is everything, everyone,
Everything.
everywhere."
Wow.
And as soon as he said that, I was, whew.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was just this burst of cloud and it was gone.
Mm.
And my mother was on the phone by now. She would say, "Shani!" And I came back to myself and I said, "Mom, you're not going to believe this." And she was livid by now. And I said, "Will you listen? I have to explain this to you." And Coach Glenn, my mom is never quiet when you talk about religion because she knows more than me,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always respect that. But I explained to her what I just saw. And Coach, she was quiet for the whole time. I don't know if it's a frequency or if it's a story. I don't know how she got it, but she was quiet for the whole time. And then the only thing I heard from her, "All right, then. Now I know you're talking to God. I'm going to my bed now." And Coach Glenn, she hung up. And ever since that moment, I've never felt the fear in her voice. I just telling her that thing that one day My mom
Mm-hmm.
finally understood. And that was for me my initiation. I was like, thank you, angels. Now it's
Yeah,
time to
yeah,
talk. And
yeah.
from the moment she got that, I was like, you know what? I made a promise. I'm going to talk about it. And I don't care. I'm just going to talk about it. That's it.
Beautiful. I want you to explain about walking on the sand
Ah,
and go into the water.
well,
That is so
from the
beautiful.
angel's perspective of what life is, and it is beautiful, they said, you're here in the physicality, but you come here as a spirit to have an experience of limitations, understanding that you are more and everything, but you are limited to your choices within this plane. They said the life
Yeah,
experience is simply walking upon the sand as long as you feel like it. And then the death process is simply stepping into the water of infinite life. And
yes,
when they say that and you close your eyes and feel it, you understand. You know, when you walk in the sand, sometimes you might step on a rock or
yeah,
a shell or
yeah,
something, and it pricks your foot. It's just life. It's
yeah,
just life. But understand, there's no finality to you. It's
yeah,
just you experience expressing yourself. You can sit on the sand if you want to. You can lie. You can build a sandcastle. This is the life experience. You have the choice to do these things. You can be kind to everything that you meet on the sand on this beach process. However, the death experience has no finality to it because love cannot be stopped. You cannot
yeah,
put a finality on it. And you came here as pure love. Things happen in this life because of other human beings' choices, either to give or withhold love, that takes you within their own experience of having you to believe, oh my gosh, I have trauma, I have pain, I have shame. But the angels say, during your life process on this sand, do not pick these rocks up and own them. When
yeah,
shame happens and trauma happens, remember you're on the sand and the rock is there. It is shame, but it's somebody else's choice to cause that shame. Toss it. They say, toss it into the water banks. Toss it. Don't own it. Understand that you still have this life process. I overcame that trauma. I overcame that pain, that shame. I overcame it. That's their choice. When they have to walk from the sand to the waters, they're going to have to face the choices they made. But I'm not
yeah,
going to allow their choice to allow me now to choose to withhold love from myself, from not living life in totality because of your choice of being unkind or malicious
yeah,
or being
yeah,
atrocious. I'm going to choose to be grateful. Oh, I have breath, this breath of consciousness. That was an experience. I learned it once. I'll never put myself in that situation again. And I'm standing firm in my truth and my power. And I'm going to live this life. That's the perception. That's how they explain it.
yes. Um, what I wanted to say is my brother
Hmm.
son passed away a week ago,
Hmm.
and they asked me to do the pastoral part at that service because
Hmm.
I'm an ordained pastor,
Hmm.
even though I don't go to church after 40 years, but I'm spiritual. They know that.
Hmm.
So they asked me to do that part.
Hmm.
And I I love that story about walking on the sand, getting into the water.
Yeah.
So I watched it a few times, and
Hmm.
I brought that during that service.
You
So it
did?
was, yes,
Mm.
because it was beautiful. And one of the things that I told everybody, because there was a lot of people there,
Okay.
and they buried him here in Holland,
Hmm.
where I'm staying now. And I told them that even though this is a very difficult time for us, but it's still beautiful. You know why? Because at that funeral there was a lot of family members that haven't seen each other for years. Some of them that doesn't speak with each other.
Mm.
And I was telling them, this is what this young man has done for us,
Always.
giving us
Hmm.
this great and beautiful opportunity.
Hmm.
So it was beautiful. So I thank you for that story, because of that story I could have used it. But wonderful people, this is your program, The Great Awakening, with my sister. We are going for a small break with promotion of the event, and we will come back with the last part of this program. No bye, diz aqui, nós estamos back.
Get ready to groove, uplift your spirit, and experience a night of unparalleled musical magic. After 2 days of transformative sessions, Corsair Espierta culminates in an electrifying live concert at the breathtaking Brackput May Amphitheater on Sunday, September 28th. From 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., prepare to be swept away by a stellar lineup of talent from across the Caribbean and beyond. On stage, we proudly present master musicians. The legendary Arnel Salzbach, Curacao, the captivating Ernesto Paz, Cuba, the soulful Rosaline Bay, Cuba, the dynamic Ernie Gregorius, Curacao, the brilliant Sergio Jansen, Aruba, the innovative Kyle Winkler, Aruba, and Curaçao's own fantastic Novine. Their incredible sounds will set the stage for our powerhouse vocalists, featuring the incomparable voices of Rainier, Shamar, Monica, Ernesto, Rosaline, Coach Glenn, and many more surprises. This isn't just a concert. It's a celebration of unity, an outpouring of positive energy, and a testament to the vibrant spirit of our islands. Don't miss this unforgettable night under the stars. Tickets are available on a pay what you can with a basic price of ANG 35. Your contribution, whether the basic price or more, directly supports the mission of Corsair Espierta and helps us continue offering impactful events. Secure yours now at Corso Espirito.com or via Eventbrite and be part of this historic musical journey.
Okay, we are back with our beautiful sister from Jamaica, my sister Nikisha. And one moment. Okay, yes. We are reached the last part of the program, but first I want to ask my sister for two things, if it's possible. No, one, I had a wonderful session with you where you have connected with your the archangels, and I remember the most of the advices that through you they gave me was synchronization, things that I have been feeling already, but I was a little bit hesitate about doing them.
Hmm.
So you have a very beautiful way of channeling, and I want to my community to know that you're gonna explain about your work. You are very good in um, giving people advice in their moments of confusion or they want to know certain things.
Hmm.
So I want you to explain a little bit about your work, and then I'm going to ask you what I'm going to ask you specifically.
Okay.
So I want you to let people know what your work is, how you can help them, so that they can make use of this what you're doing, because this is very very important, because it has done a lot of good for me.
Okay. Well, it's not actually work. It's just a service. I
Yes, a
have
service.
allowed myself, because of all these experiences and all this information that comes through, to simply be a conduit. So I'm
Yeah.
not the one who's actually doing anything. I have no idea who the person is who's going to be across the screen from me or on the computer. But so what I do is I simply have gone to a stage where I absolutely just give autonomous openness to my guys, to
Yeah.
the angels, to step forward and allow this person to receive the information they need to receive.
Yeah.
Not everybody receives the information they think they want, but then after sitting across the screen, they realize, wow, that really is something that I've had laid dormant for a while that I've never thought about. And
Hmm.
what I simply do is allow myself to be this, this antenna to transmit this information to them and give them the energy that they need to receive. Sometimes it's something of healing, sometimes it's of self-love, sometimes it's just an opening way to allow them to understand that they are on the right path, or
Beautiful.
redirecting them to the right path. So that's basically what I allow myself to do along with the angels. And if you're going to sit across the screen from me, you have to be open to receiving information from angels. Otherwise, don't, because I don't necessarily have control when that happens. I give control over. So
Yeah,
if you're not
yeah.
privy to that, an archangel Michael, a Raphael, a Yeshua, some Mother Mary comes through a lot now, and they just simply come through as this essence to you, who will help you or to clarify or quantify a path that you think you need, or a path that you are on now, just to give you
Yes,
confirmation, or sometimes a
yes.
pat on the back that you are in the right place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember I asked you a few things specifically about the event that we are organizing.
Hmm.
And I remember you spoke some few things that were very very important for me personally at that
Hmm.
moment. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna speak Papiamento for a while so that my
Sure.
people can they understand everything, but I want to
Sure.
put emphasis on certain things.
Okay.
Mensen persona aqui me capable si uso di su servicio. Pa sobra eta un persona ku ora ku e papia cubo ante conectar com su angela bota sinti emissora ku eta papia cubo anto eta bisabo kos ku bota bisa impossible que hende ki por sai così. Okay, so it's very 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 important. I mi te recomenda vos nampa dende in contact con me. So this is what I want to ask you, if it is possible. Okay,
Okay.
if it is possible, can you connect with the angels to say something about our island before we close this program?
Are we talking about Holland or Curacao?
Curacao.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I had a session with a beautiful lady who is, I think, on an island close to Curacao, and it came up in a session recently. So it might
From
be
Aruba?
interesting. I don't remember. I'll send it to you afterwards because I don't remember it so well. And I gave her your event also, so she said she can easily go across. But
Okay.
here's why. And even without tapping into the angels, I can say, you see, the islands particularly are on these beautiful grid lines that we've never thought about, and many people don't know
Yeah.
spiritually.
Yeah.
And there is not a shaking, but there's just awakening in a sense that's happening in the islands, almost as if it's blowing off the sea in a sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what happened with this is the angels came through and they said within the islands, and they went all the way across from Bahamas to Cuba, all the way around to the lesser Antilles, the greater Antilles, all the way down to Jamaica and around. And what they allowed us to see that day, and they're showing me now again, is within the islands, we must understand the catalyst of change that we have chosen within these aspects of this world. The reason why it's don't worry, be happy kind of archetype that is within these islands is because there is history there. There's a beautiful history of knowingness within these parts of the land. And this is why there is a plethora of religion, of states, of beliefs within these places. However, these structures within these timelines will start not to shatter, not to scare you, not to allow you to believe, oh my gosh, I am now in fear because I am in this catalyst change of choosing light or darkness. It simply is a
Mhm.
timeline for you to understand how powerful you are in your choices. You always have. However, within the islands, within Curacao, within these islands, understand that below your ley lines, within your seas, all the way down to the bottom, is aspects of this beautiful era of Atlantis. It is a
Mhm.
time of a rising that brings these frequencies up of powerful energies. However, there has been convolution in a sense within these beautiful islands of convoluting the energies for darkness instead of light. And it
Yeah.
has caused an let's say unstable plate line in a sense. And when this happens, we have to within a time period of between now 2025 to 2029 to start to awaken in these parts in order to send the frequency and energy throughout the rest of the world, because it is a powerful ley line which you lay on. So expect to see lighthouses emit within your island of people
Mhm.
you will say are extremely crazy, because they will start to have downloads and receive and just simply knowingness within them that we are more than what we've been taught. Do not
Yeah.
be fearful and judge them and point the finger to say, oh, you are stepping away from the church. No, they're not stepping away from faith. They are becoming more and standing within the darkness, within these convoluted places to say, if you simply understand that the God, that the consciousness, that life is also breathing through me, then we can, with peace, we can easily cause a demolition of the structures within these islands which never belonged to simply falter away also within the sea line. Do you understand? And allow
Yes.
a and a new awakening of oneness within these islands. This is where it started. If you should look back in the history, there are a lot that we have missed amongst the islands, not just Sa, simply within all the islands of understanding that you started off together.
Hmm.
There's stories of telling that you were taken from places
Yeah.
here. But why do you think you were taken? You weren't taken, you chose on a soul level to graduate to these beautiful lands where magic began. Look into your history of the Atlantean times and understand the truth and the power that you are. Stop pointing
Good.
fingers and trying to create more rooms of where God cannot be contained. Open the doorways, open the windows, and bust them open and allow new energy to come in. You are the healers of this world. Do you
Mm.
understand not? Go back to your ancestry and understand the healing of the land, your oneness with Gaia, and simply allow these lighthouses that are coming up in Curacao, in all these other islands, and allow them to breathe a breath of fresh air, understanding, and love. The oneness is needed. It is needed within this timeline. Why? Because all are one, and one are all.
Oh, thank you very much, my sister. Thank you very much. Um, we are trying because, like we are organizing this year our first event, spiritual event, Corsoa Spiata, which
Mhm.
is a mandate that I have received since
Mhm.
the beginning of 2024. So this month we're gonna celebrate it,
Right.
and it's supposed no, it's gonna be a year, every year program. So we want to, from this program, we want to officially invite you to come next year
I
in our
appreciate that.
event. So we're gonna be
Absolutely.
talking more about that. I
Sure.
want to I want to go back
Hmm.
and break down this program here because there's a lot in here. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna break it down, and I want to invite you back this year
Okay.
in other interviews so that we can go through all of those different, because I've write down some things, but I want my community and the people of these islands to get everything, because I feel that I have this, not a responsibility, but uh,
It's a
I
service. It's a
yes, I have
service.
to do this. So
Hmm.
so I want to thank you for your this availability, because
Sure.
I can imagine you are very busy, and
Hmm.
I encourage everybody to um, get in contact with Nikisha, because she is doing a beautiful work. I recommend her very much. So send me. I'm gonna put your information where they can get in contact with you. Okay, is
Sure.
that okay?
That's fine. That's okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put also your website and everything. So I want you guys to know that since I got in contact with Nikisha, we have became very good friends.
Mm.
So we are continually in contact with each other, and I love that. I want
Mhm.
you to know that I appreciate you very much, and I appreciate what you're doing to help raise the vibration in the world. Keep on
Yeah,
doing
I,
it, my
I
sister.
appreciate you too. I pat you on the shoulder because it's not easy to. Nah, that's not the right word. It's a challenge to step forward with something that you know,
Yes.
in a way that you have to explain it to somebody who doesn't understand it, who's not ready yet.
Yeah.
And the best way to do it is just do it with love and compassion. And I see
Yeah.
that you do it. That's the catalyst where you follow, and I absolutely appreciate it. So thank you for stepping forward to be one of these lighthouses that we need now,
Yes,
you
my
know, just
sister.
to kind of allow people to understand that we're much more and we are a part of this massive, earth body. And
Yeah.
each cell of us, we have a part to play, and we just simply have to do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I appreciate you too.
Yeah. Thank you very much, my sister.
Thank
And
you.
I wish you a wonderful week
Hmm.
full of a lot of beautiful things, and to continue to helping those that need your service. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. Thanks, Coach Glenn.
Yes. This was your program, The Great Awakening, on this um, first day of September, our month of near-death experience stories. And I want to invite all of you to be with me one more time next week, Sunday, in our program Corsawa Spierta. And if you didn't watch the yesterday program, you can go ahead and watch it on this page. Okay, so Turcosbo Manson dapat ang placer si Ribos nang anto mitabay po na informasyon ng din ni Kisha pasina po sampo din dating kontakto ko ni. Okay? Turcosbo anto God bless you all. Bye bye. Ciao.
Where there is love, the bruised can find a refuge to be held close until their tears are gone. Where there is love, the weary can revive their hope until they're strong, until they're strong. Where there is love, the shadows all are friendly, and evil finds no place to hide a fear. Where there is love, the warmth of caring melts away despair. It disappears, it disappears. Where there is love, where there is love, hope soars like an eagle. Where there is love, faces shine with the richness of gold. I found the truth that my heart is so sure of. Life surrenders its best where there is love, where there is love. Where there is love, God's will is being honored. For those who love, He calls His very own. Where there is love, the world can see the purpose of His heart, and He is known.